Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Billy, and today I'm going to talk to you about language briefly. What do you know when you know language? Pronunciation, vocabulary, or grammar? Well, as a speaker of Korean, you know a great deal about your language. But suppose that if you are asked to write down all that knowledge about Korea, you may be confused. Though you know perfectly how to speak Korean, you are not consciously aware of most of the knowledge about Korean. This hidden knowledge is called linguistic competence. It is unobservable and underlying knowledge of a native speaker has. And then how can you find out what this competence is like? We can observe speakers' linguistic performance. And performance means observable and concrete manifestation or realization of competence. And linguistic performance usually contains lots of mistakes and hesitations, but that does not mean that performance underlying the speech is defective. And then let's get to the main subject. Part of your linguistic competence has to do with your knowledge about the sounds of your language. And you know how to produce them, though you don't know exactly the mechanics of it. But you already know the phonetics of Korean. And not only you can produce and perceive the sound of Korean, but also you know how these sounds work together as a system. And you know what sequences of sounds are possible in different positions. And this knowledge allows you to replace the foreign language sounds by sounds from your own language. And next, you also know how to break individual words into smaller parts that have a meaning or some other function. And you know how to create words by combining these smaller parts. As a speaker of a language, you know which combinations are possible and which ones are not. And you can recognize well-formedness in sentences. And well-formed means grammatical in linguistics. And you know the way that the words and phrases are put together to form sentences in a language. But there is an important difference between the grammaticality of a sentence and semantic acceptability. That means structurally well-formedness is one thing, and making sense is another. And your linguistic competence has to do with your ability to determine the meaning of sentences. And your competence allows you to determine when a sentence has more than one meaning, or when the different sentence means the same thing. And your understanding of the meaning of sentences and larger utterance also involves an understanding of how the context of those utterances influence the meaning. And you know how to interpret the language correctly, and also know how to use language to do something. And rest, when you know when you say you know a language, that means you know the lexicon of the language. You can understand the lexicon as the brain, the dictionary in the brain. And I told the constitution of the language very briefly. It's not so simple to say that knowing a language, but it seems that all of us here here in class know well about Korean. But how about English? And thank you for listening to my speech. And I think I close here.